Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Psycho's Platters and a CD episode 14. We're already up to 14 already. I'd like to thank some of the new subscribers that we have had over the last week or so. Got some new people. I think we're going to also have some more new ones coming down the line too. Like I said before, if you haven't gone on YouTube vinyl collecting sites, PUDSI, good guy out of England. You could see a bunch of Pootsies, I think his name is, and T-Mech 1959, which is my friend Tim Smith from up in Northern Illinois. Check out those as well. Let's see. Let's go into a couple more things that I had from last time. I was showing 45s for the last 3 episodes. Here's a couple more, though, that I picked up. 10 cents a piece around the area here. Grand Funk Railroad, Some Kind of Wonderful. That's right, from 74. I actually kind of like this one because you see, or at least you're getting the impression, you know, because back then Grand Funk Railroad from 72 on was a 4-piece band. You had Mark Farner, Mel Shocker, Donnie Brewer, and Craig Frost on keyboards. He was the 4th member of those. Donnie Brewer and Craig Frost would end up leaving Grand Funk Railroad shortly after doing a band called Flint, which was everybody but Mark Farner. They cut a record for CBS in 77, made a second album that's still unreleased to this day, and then shortly after that, Brewer and Frost jumped to Bob Seger. They're on a few hits as well. Of course, typical Special Capital Grand Funk label on this one. Also, George Harrison's My Sweet Lord on Apple. Oh, I like this sleeve. He looks really kind of sad but yet reflective, doesn't he? This one here on the Apple label. But get this, it's actually really clean shape. But guess what I found in it? Yeah, remember the old metal ones that you used to put on to get your 45s fixed? This is still on it. And it actually, come to think of it, I didn't notice until now, it says Webster Corporation from Chicago. I didn't know they made 45 holes, you know, for the adapters. Really nice for this one. Now, I wish I could tell you the sleeve was really, really good on this one. It's starting to slightly come apart, okay? So a little bit of glue will go a long way. Now, I'm going to do another episode eventually here on the topic of 78s. I'm not ready to do that yet, but this one here, and Doug, my friend Doug down here, has told me that he's seen these before, okay? But this was the first one that I've ever seen. Now, this one here is an old Victrola 78 done by Ernie Caruso. Now, I don't know if any of you people out there know who Ernie Caruso was. Caruso, I am told, still is one of the best voices of the first half of the 20th century of opera. Okay? The man had a voice. I've heard little bits of things. Go on YouTube if you don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't get it because it was Ernie Caruso, though. I'm sorry. Opera's normally not my bag. It was because of this. Now, you'll have to forgive me. I know the lighting isn't really that good. But I think if you could see as I'm turning a little bit, this is imprinted into the 78. It actually says the word Victrola. If you go across, or Victor, excuse me, it says the word Victor, and it's got weaving design. This is really, really cool, and you'll have to plead my ignorance if this was done before, you know, before Caruso and any of the RCA 78s. But for 50 cents on that, I couldn't pass it up. How about some new finds today? Wishbone Ash. I brought up Wishbone Ash a few episodes ago. This one, double album, 1973 live dates. You still have the classic lineup in place. Okay. Let me see if I can get this right. Andy Powell, Martin Turner, Ted Turner, and there's a fourth one. I'm so sorry. I hope the fourth one isn't insulted. I forgot. Nice gatefold. Kind of look a little, you know, this is the typical 70s guitar god on the left side type pose. Mixed with, yeah, they all look kind of wasted a little, don't they? Oh, Ted Upton. There. I got it. I remember the fourth one. And when I saw Andy Powell in 2005, 2006, I hate to admit it, I wish he had a lot more hair. But he didn't. He's relatively kind of bald now. But you know what? For example, the first side on here, straight from Argus, one of my favorite Wishbone Ash albums. The king will come, warrior, and throw down the sword. Classic stuff. Can't wait to listen to it. Also, The Tooth of Spooky. I like Spooky Tooth. Okay? I don't know how many of you people remember Spooky Tooth, but Spooky Tooth had a lot of damn talent in this band. They should have went more than what they did. From 1973, hey, you broke my heart, so I busted your jaw. That kind of makes sense, don't it? Seems like it to me back then. How about this for a strange gatefold? You got lyrics on the left and this strange little drawing on the right. Okay. This one here, let's see, what do we got going here? Holy Water, Wildfire, Times Have Changed, Mariah, all that stuff. Now, this one here, of course, is on your old school green A&M. Very nice shape for this. I couldn't pass this up. The lineup on this particular album, though, from 73, you still have Gary Wright. You know, he was pretty much the main head honcho of this band. But you get a new guy in here. On guitar and vocals, Mick Jones. Gee, what's that name sound like? Could it be about 3 years later he'd go to Foreigner? Yeah, he created Foreigner, so you can connect Spooky Tooth to Foreigner in that particular bit. Okay, another one of my favorite 70s bands. I got to admit, these guys are unique. They are unique, at least back in this period, okay? There was a lot of experimentation in the world of music, but these ones here combined art with theater and rock music, and they went a lot of theatrical, seriously. I mean, we're talking about so many costume changes. I thought Freddie Mercury had a lot of costume changes. Well, Fee Waybill from the Tubes. Yeah. What Do You Want From Live from 78, featuring one of my favorite white punks on dope. And he does that one. He is the punk rocker Quaalude. Get it? Quaalude. Don't Touch Me There. Kind of 50s made fun of, so to speak. Double album from 78. Here's a lot of, I mean, this is some strange pictures, I gotta tell you. But these guys were crack musicians. They came out of Phoenix, Arizona, okay? Still around today. They haven't put out a new CD, though, since, if I remember correctly, it was 2006, 2007. But back when they were doing this bit, they had a huge band. I want to say they had 7 to 10 pieces in this band, including they had a female singer named Reese Styles, who she's been gone for quite a while, and they also had a sideman of Santana doing percussion too. So those, double album on that, classic as well. How about some more thrift shop pieces? Thank you very much. February 1970, Elvis on Stage. Yes, I got to tell you, I love Elvis. I have a certain spot for Elvis. On Your Orange. Remember back then it was Orange label on your RCA. Really nice stuff. I mean, you're talking here C.C. Ryder, Sweet Caroline. He even did a version of that. The Wonder of You. I like that one. Polk Salad Annie. Gator Got Your Granny. That's right. He even tries Yesterday and Proud Mary. Well, maybe he shouldn't have done Proud Mary. Elvis wasn't perfect in everything. This one I thought was a little interesting here because where I live, one of the biggest concert venues still in existence, and this sucker's an old venue, is Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I kind of was tickled pink to discover Ernest Tubb and his troubadours, his Texas troubadours, live at Kane's Ballroom. There's your front with the tour bus in front of Kane's Ballroom, and here's the back with a couple pictures from Kane's. Kane's is still in existence. They just got done having a Jack White solo show, Smashing Pumpkins, beautiful color bar deca on this one. I never seen this. I think this is kind of neat because the shrink wrap's still on it. Don't look, Ethel! It's Ray Evans. They call him the Streak. Look at that, look at that. But look, see, the streak goes away if you take off the plastic. Kind of funny. Look, see. What else is on here? Let's see. Streak, yeah. Freddie Feelgood and his funky little 5-piece band. Moonlight Special. Bridget the Midget, the Queen of the Blues, huh? I'll tell you. I saw Ray Stevens in 2010, of course, on the Barnaby record label, which was if I remember correctly, it was Andy Williams' label. He was tied to that. I saw Ray Stevens, like I said, in 2010. Really good show. Saw him around Christmas time, roughly. Patriotic. He did, the first half was patriotic songs, and then the second half was all of his hits. Unfortunately, I wish I could say I met the man. I didn't, but there was only me, my sons James and Mike, and another family waiting to meet Mr. Stevens. But at least the guy who we trusted took our couple items, got them signed. So I do have a Ray Stevens autograph in my collection. I'll show you that when I get to my signed CD show, because I haven't got ready for that yet. Todd Rundgren, Hermit of Mink Hollow. I know, the shrinks, well, this is how I found it, unfortunately. The little label sticker's still on there. Of course, on the typical Bearsville. Lots of good stuff on here. I mean, Can We Still Be Friends, of course, was the big one out of all of it. Straight out of 1975, 76. Hey, the Kingsmen. How to Stuff a Wild Bikini. Motion picture soundtrack. I knew there was a lot of surfploitation movies, but I must have missed this one, because this one here, the movie actually starred Annette Funicello, Dwayne Hickman. Who else? Oh, Buster Keaton was in this. I didn't know that. It must have been before he died. And of course, gee, no surprise, Mickey Rooney is Peachy Keen, like he really thought he could be in surfploitation movies. Typical American International sleazophobic fare. I like the silly American International stuff. But of course, on your wand label, the vinyl's actually not too bad. I'd say Vici Plus. Tim Buckley. Tim Buckley. Okay? Good stuff here. Happy, sad. He looks more sad than happy, doesn't he? But, you know what? If you haven't heard of Tim Buckley, some people obviously have heard of Jeff Buckley. Tim Buckley's kid, they both committed suicide separately. Sad stuff. For a Monkey fan like me, though, I have to tell you something. He was one of the few people that were on the Monkees and actually did a song. Second season, if I remember correctly. So he's on there. Good stuff. Straight out of Elektra. Pretty much, let's see, who do we got here? I don't really see anybody really fancy out of here. Didn't know this, though. Produced by Jerry Yester and Zal Yankovsky. What band? Love and Spoonful. Straight on this, on your brownish label, Elektra. Really good vinyl. That's slightly coming apart in the back, though. I'll have to do a slight glue job on that. Ventures. Flights of Fantasy. Hey, you're talking 68 here. Mighty Quinn. You know, a bunch of other goodies here. So they try their Summertime Blues. Scarborough Fair. I'm a little afraid to see what that one sounds like. Of course, all your Venture albums on the back as well. On your Liberty label. Really, really pretty clean copy of this one. Donna Summer, Once Upon a Time. Who stuck the green sticker on her eye? Really? They shouldn't have done that. Shame on that. I miss her, though. She was more than the queen of disco. She was part of the genre. How about this? She just looks all in her majesty, doesn't she? But she had some really cracked musicians at that time for all of her stuff. I mean, you're talking here, well, you say, what? I mean, Once Upon a Time, Working the Midnight Shift, Man Like You, theme, of course, from Once Upon a Time. This one here, of course, double album, standard Casablanca label. Love Casablanca. Here's one. The condition on it isn't so great, but for 50 cents, I don't know. I'd like to smack the person who put BJ in marker. Listen, Billy J. Kramer with the Dakotas on Parlophone in mono. That's right. I couldn't believe I found this English import. Really, really nice on this one here. Black label with gold print. Lastly, I'm going to leave you with a pair of Elvises. Now this one here, I really wish was in better condition. Even I'm sad about this. But for 50 cents, I couldn't pass this up anyway. A Date with Elvis. Cheryl Newton, I had to schmack you for sticking your name on this. But I guess you had to, well, name your Elvis records like everybody else. The apologies, though, is that it is slightly dog-eared. I really wish it was a better copy, but guess what? Since I've never found one before, this is cool. Neat, though? It has the Elvis 1960 calendar. Yeah, you want to know? Let's see, I'm curious about something. When was my birthday? My birthday was on a Tuesday back in 1960. Also, typical RCA black. The condition could be better on this sucker. And also, is a gatefold. Why, look, it's a radiogram of Elvis in the Army. See, look at that, huh? For 50 cents, I couldn't pass it up. Also, Elvis from the movie Spin Out. Yes, 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 it's in stereo. I wish it was in mono. Oh, it'd be worth more in mono. But point is, yeah, you know, he did all those goofy movies in the 60s, which I could live without, I'm sorry. His 50s movies were good. I just really couldn't stand. Clambake? Really? You really expect me to like Clambake? Typical RCA Victor. This condition on this one actually is a little bit better than the Date with Elvis. I gotta give that one props for that too. So lastly, CDs. What am I going to recommend? I got two things I want to recommend to you, okay? A little bit more modern. Classic Masters on Capitol Records, April Wine, one of my favorite Canadian bands. I got hooked on them. Let's see, from hearing, when was it? It's like 80, 81. MTV put them on. But then I got hooked with Roller and all the other stuff. Good old 12 tracks. Get this. This is a 90s release. And also, Old and in the Way. Jerry Garcia. It is bluegrass finest. He had a nice side group. This one here from 1975. This one is, of course, a 96 Round Records reissue on CD. You have Jerry Garcia, David Grisman, one of the best mandolin players. Seriously, I really wanted to see him when he came down here last. Peter Rowan, of course, from way back in the early 60s. Vassar Clements, I think he's passed away, and Sean Conn also passed away too. Old and in the Way, 1976. Till next episode, keep rocking, keep collecting. You know what? Start your own sites. I want to see what you guys have got too. All right? Maybe some of your favorite records. Take care, God bless, and rock on.